Using TradingView here for today's video to learn more about the Ichimoku. Now, as you can see, I'm going to be using the daily chart for AMD here. Firstly, the first thing I want to do here is I want to show you guys where you find this and how you can add it to your chart. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to go to the top here and you want to go to indicators. Go ahead and click on it and then type in ICH, and then under technicals you'll see Ichimoku Cloud. So you want to go ahead and click on this once and then go ahead and close out of this window. So it has added the Ichimoku to our chart here, and before I explain what this is and how to use it, I'd like to introduce today's sponsor, Moomoo. So right now you can get 10 free stocks, each valued up to $2,500 with a $100 deposit using my link in the description below. Moomoo is a commission-free online trading platform that allows you to invest in stocks, ETFs, options, and ADRs. Plus, Moomoo offers a comprehensive stock screener, and it allows you to track institutional buys and holds. And my favorite feature, guys, is that it allows you to unlock 24/7 premium news for free, which gives you access to real-time news from leading financial media and also an all-in-one market calendar of key events like economic data, earnings, dividends, splits, all those things. So go ahead and check out Moomoo, guys. Again, I'll put a link to them in the description below. So let's get into this video here. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Ichimoku here. So what is the Ichimoku Cloud here? So the Ichimoku Cloud is a collection of technical indicators that show support and resistance levels as well as momentum and trend direction. Now I know this can get very overwhelming because there are so many different lines and colors and stuff here, but I'm going to break it down here and I'm going to make it very simple for you guys here, okay? So the Ichimoku Cloud is composed of 5 lines, 2 of which compose a cloud, right? Where the difference between the 2 lines is shaded in. As you can see here, we have 2 lines that comprise the Ichimoku Cloud here, right? And then it's shaded red in here. Over here it's shaded green. Now let's go ahead and let's go through each one of these lines here, and then we're actually going to remove some of these that we actually don't even need here. So let's first start with this green line that you see down here. So this green line down here is called the lagging span. Next we have this blue line. This blue line is called the conversion line. Then up here we see a red line. This red line is called the base line. And then finally, guys, we have these 2 lines over here, which I talked about. So basically we have leading span A and leading span B. And then again, these 2 actually create the Ichimoku Cloud, which is shaded in. It's going to be shaded in either red or green here. Now, like I mentioned, the good thing here is that we don't need all of these. So we're actually going to go ahead and remove some of these that we really don't need here. So let's go back to our indicator here, and then we'll click on the settings here. And remember here, you can go ahead and remove some of these. You can change defaults, you can change colors. I'm going to leave the defaults as they are and the colors as they are, but we are going to go ahead and remove the lagging span. Again, that's the green line here. We really don't need this. And then we're also going to remove the leading span A and the leading span B. Again, these are the actual lines that form the Ichimoku Cloud here. So we actually don't need these lines either. So go ahead and remove both of these here. And then everything else should be fine. So let's go ahead and click on OK. So now, as you can see, it is a little bit better to look at and not as overwhelming here. So let's go ahead and now let's talk about more in depth on what these things tell us. So what does this tell us? So the Ichimoku Cloud itself, which again is this red cloud, or it could be green as well. The Ichimoku Cloud tells us a few things. So let's actually go ahead and talk about this. So basically, the Ichimoku Cloud, the first thing it tells us is the trend of the market. So if we go back here, right, when the cloud is green and the price is above the cloud here, that lets us know that this stock is in a strong uptrend. So here again, we see a green cloud. The price was above the cloud. That lets us know that during this time period, AMD was in a strong uptrend. Now, on the other hand, when the cloud is red, like you see here, when the cloud is red and the price is below the cloud, this lets us know that the stock is in a strong downtrend. So during this time period, the cloud was red, price was underneath it, it was staying underneath it. AMD was in a strong downtrend during this time period. Now, if the price is inside the clouds, that lets us know that the price is either, trading sideways or it's about to reverse, right? And so kind of a rule of thumb is you really don't want to make any trades when the price is inside the clouds, because you can basically get faked out very easily. So be careful with that. So again, first thing it tells us is the trend. Now, the second great thing about the Ichimoku cloud is that it will often act as an area of support and resistance. For example, over here, what happened when the price reached the cloud? Notice it bounced off of it multiple times. So the Ichimoku cloud here was serving as an area of support multiple times. Then eventually it broke. And then what happened? Then it started to act as an area of resistance, right? When it pulled back to the cloud, notice again it acted as resistance, couldn't break, and then again it pushed back down. So the Ichimoku cloud will also, again, a lot of the time serve as an area of support and resistance here, guys. Now, what about the other two lines that we have here? So again, like I mentioned, this blue line is known as the conversion line. The red line is known as the baseline. So the blue line, or the conversion line, is a 9-period average of the price. The red line, or the baseline, is a 26-period average. And I'm not going to go into how these are calculated, because again, the way these things are calculated aren't really important. What's important is how we can use these to make money here. And so this is where we start to get into the strategy here using the Ichimoku here, okay? So here is what the strategy is going to look like. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to combine the Ichimoku cloud, which we just talked about, right? The cloud, the green cloud and the red cloud here, the Ichimoku cloud, with crossovers. So a crossover is when one line crosses over another line. And here we're going to have two different crossovers. So firstly, if the blue line, right, the blue line, which again is the conversion line, crosses above the red line or the baseline, like for example it's doing right here, the blue line is going above the red line, this is a bullish crossover and it can indicate a potential bullish move. On the other hand, when the conversion line or the blue line crosses below the baseline or the red line, like it did here, it potentially signals a bearish move. So this is a bearish crossover. So we're basically going to combine the Ichimoku cloud with these crossovers. And the cloud itself is going to tell us if we should be only going long or if we should only be going short. Because again, the Ichimoku cloud will tell us the trend. Remember, the trend is your friend and you don't want to trade against the trend. So it's very important that you understand what the trend is so that you don't trade against it or you might end up losing a lot of money. So let's actually go into two different examples here, a bullish example and a bearish example. So let's start with Tesla here, okay? So again, we have a chart for Tesla here. This was back in November of 2020. And let's take a look at what we see. So we have our Ichimoku cloud here, and notice that it's green, and notice that the price of Tesla has stayed above it, right? So what does that tell us? That tells us that Tesla was in a strong uptrend here during this time period. We also see that it's touching the cloud multiple times, and the cloud is successfully acting as an area of support, right? It touches it and it keeps bouncing off of it, right? So again, Tesla here is in a strong uptrend. So now we know that the trend here is upwards. So basically here, we're only looking for buying opportunities because we don't want to go against the trend. We don't want to short when the trend is in a very strong uptrend here. So we're only looking for buying opportunities. So this tells us that we are looking for a bullish crossover. So again, bullish crossover is going to be when the conversion line or the blue line crosses above the baseline or the red line. So basically now we're looking for the blue line to go above the red line here, right? And so notice that it's getting close here. And so I'm going to play a few more candles here. So let's continue. Let's go a little bit forward here and let's take a look at what happens. So here we can start to see right here, right? This exact candle, we see that the blue line now, our conversion line, just went above our baseline or our red line. Again, this is a bullish crossover, potentially signaling a bullish move. Furthermore, we're in an uptrend, so we know we're only looking for a buying opportunity. So this could have been a good potential opportunity to go to, to have bought, to have gone long, to have entered any type of bullish strategy here. And in fact, if we take a look at what happens after this, we'll see that Tesla made a huge move upwards. Now, again, remember, this is not always going to work. You should always be setting stop losses. And, there are other things you probably want to look at here. But we see two different things, right? Again, we see our bullish crossover. We see that our Ichimoku cloud is green. Price is above it. We're in an uptrend. It's also serving as a nice area of support here. So what happens a little bit after this? We see Tesla makes a huge move upwards, right? And again, you would set your price targets, you would set your stop loss as well. But as you can see, it made a nice move to the upside here after this bullish crossover. So here is an example, again, this is a bullish example, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at a bearish example, what a bearish example would look like. So let's go over to a new chart here. And so now we're going to be taking a look at Boeing here. So let's take a look here at Boeing. So this is actually more recent. This is back in April of this year, April 2020. So let's take a look again at what we see here. So firstly, we see that the price of Boeing is trading below the Ichimoku cloud. We also see that the Ichimoku cloud is red. So what does this tell us? This tells us that Boeing was in a pretty strong downtrend during this time period. So that lets us know that we're only looking for shorting opportunities, right? We're looking for bearish strategies here. We don't want to go long because we don't want to go against the trend, since the trend here is in a pretty strong downtrend. Now, when it comes to a downtrend here, we want to look for a bearish crossover. So a bearish crossover is going to be when the conversion line crosses below the baseline, or the blue line goes below the red line. So we're looking for that crossover here to potentially go short. And so let's go ahead and continue this here. So let's play it a little bit here. So let's continue here. And notice here that the blue line, the conversion line, actually crosses below the baseline here now. So now we have our bearish crossover. So again, this is a potentially good signal that the stock's about to make a lower move down. So you could have potentially entered a short position here. And let's take a look at what happens shortly after this. So we continue to play this. We'll see that Boeing made a huge move to the downside, right? And again, remember, right, the Ichimoku cloud acts as an area of support and resistance. So it did move up a little bit here, but this acted as a great area of resistance, and then it pushed further down. Right, so that's kind of the strategy here, very popular strategy using the Ichimoku cloud. Again, it tells you a lot of great information, and I think it's very simple to use. So if you guys have any questions about anything I just talked about, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Check out the Discord, link to it in the description below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. Now we'll see you guys next time.